So, this is Stephen A. of the streets, right? Talking my shit once again, bringing y'all my perspective. You know, I always got like a real perspective, a real genuine, thought out, you know, perspective of what I saw and the way I feel about it. Now, I've been hearing a lot about the DJ Akademiks. It's been trending. Him on the $1 million worth of game interview. And they touched on a lot of different things, you know. They talked about they different podcasts and who rocking with who and who doing, you know, they talked about just all kind of stuff, man. But the main thing that everybody keep bringing up is the Freddie Gibbs shit and the My Sign shit and all of this shit. The controversial parts where he was like saying little shit about Freddie Gibbs and the way he stood up to My Sign. And this is like I look at all this different shit, right? But like I always come with an overall like analysis or overall like answer to what I seen. And this is how I feel. You know, I always got a little story with everything. I always bring a little bit of my life into it. You know, the thing about this YouTube shit that make you pop is you gotta like to hear yourself talk. You gotta be kind of charismatic. You gotta kind of have your spin. Like you can't sound like a reporter that's reporting the news like a regular. You gotta put your real spin on this shit. And it comes from being I'm an outspoken person. I've always talked about my perspective. I've always been bullheaded about how I feel about shit because I'm one of the people that think I'm right. But I don't think I'm right just for the hell of it. I just know I got a genuine, judgmental process that I put it through. It don't really have nothing to do with me, but they kind of do though. You know what I'm saying? But I take my feelings out of it, and I just be real about this shit. The way I feel about Akademiks and the way he was coming at Freddie Gibbs and the shit he had to say about Freddie Gibbs, the way he was coming at My Sign and the way he kind of wasn't backing down. This is how I feel about all of this shit. A man, if you willing to back up whatever you say and whatever you doing, you can say whatever you want as a man. Can't nobody tell you what to say, what to feel, and hold on, wait a minute, man, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like for instance, right? I know it's a lot of niggas that think because they tough and they gangsters and they been locked up and all this shit and they know the street. And see, the thing is, what make it even worse is I know the streets too. I might not went as far as you. I might not as done no crazy things, but I can't even say that. I can't. It's levels to this shit. It's not even like I'm saying that I'm an angel. You know what I'm saying? I participated in some things. You know, I've had things done to me. You know, the streets is the streets. But one thing I don't like about street niggas is when they try to tell a square or a normal person that they need to bow down to another person just because of what they done been through and because of what they capable of doing and all this shit. The way I see this shit, I see it like a man got the right, if he willing to back up what he's saying, he can say and do whatever he want to do. Like a man, somebody can be getting punked all their life and be getting beat up their whole life. The minute they decide that they tired of it and they ready to fight to the bone, any and everybody that fuck with them, that's what they are. That's what they finna do. They gonna rise to the occasion and not be no sucker no more. Can't no other man tell another man how to be a man. That's what's wrong with niggas. To me, that's what's weird. And see, like I said, I always bring the gym into it. I always bring fitness into it. Bro, I work out. I'm as strong as an ox, bro. Can't nobody tell me because over some street violence I should cower down because, oh, this person might have a gun or this person. Well, you know, more than likely, I'm not in the game like that. I'm not in the field like that. I don't think nobody would come after me with no gun like that because I'm not into all of that. And then I stay away from knuckleheaded ass people that want to try to pull out guns and threaten me with threatening my life and shit. One time a nigga, I'm gonna tell you a story. One time I was hooping on a basketball court, right? And I'm pretty good at basketball. This is back in the day. I was hooping in the hood and shit, right? So this one dude was like playing real aggressive with me. He was like fouling me and shit. Even when he got the ball, he was trying to like dip his shoulder into me and shit like that. And see, I ain't never been no sucker. I always been outspoken. I always stood up and stood my ground for shit. So I told him, I kind of was like, man, you need to relax, man. You need to chill out a little bit, man, you know. And then he kind of was like, man, do you know who I am? This was the nigga said to me. Man, you know who I am? Now, like I say, I grew up in Richmond, California. That's where I grew up at. Google that. Type that in, right? I'm not the most dangerous person from Richmond. I ain't never caught a body. I ain't never did, but I didn't been in the field. I haven't necessarily been in the field doing shit. But when you put like this, if you don't know squares come from Richmond. I can't know nigga if you ain't don't know squares come from Richmond. Period. So when he said it to me, I kind of was like, you know, it kind of spooked me a little bit because I didn't heard that in the hood. Like I didn't been in situations where real killers and told niggas I was around. Like, say for instance, I got into it with this one nigga at Nations back in the day, and he was able to tell. He was mugging me, and he actually told my cousin, man, cuz tell this, because I was mugging him back. The dude literally told my cousin, man, tell this nigga who I am. And I had to kind of, he told me, and I was like, oh, I had heard his name. His name rung some bells, some dark bells. So I kind of, I ain't gonna say I backed down, but I was smart. I was like, okay, yeah, this ain't, you know, the killers. You gotta, it's like running into a brick wall. You gotta make a smart decision. So when a dude hit me on the court, like, man, do you know who I, man, do you know who I am? Do you know who I know? And I was just kind of like, first off top, it spooked me. I was like, man, what the fuck, what the, you know. So to make a long story short, I kept hooping and shit. And I kept, like, one thing about me, I could tell from a nigga mannerisms and how he move if he really about that life, if he really got this mystique where I need to know who he is. So I kind of started asking him, like, well, who are you, bro? You know, who? And he kept being like, man, you don't want to know, just hoop. And I'm noticing this nigga kind of like a square. He kind of like a nerd a little bit. So I kind of was like, bro, who are you? I kind of, at the end of the day, I kind of was like, man, who are you, bro? What's up, man? Like, because he kept playing the way he told me that, then he kept playing aggressive with me. So I kind of was spooked for a second. I ain't gonna lie, but then I found out this nigga was just talking, man. This nigga was just trying to tell me. And towards the end of the game, I was ready to whoop his ass. And I smelled blood in the water. I smelled pussy. I smelled that the nigga was scary a little bit. So I'm like, this nigga done told me this little fake ass hood story and try to scare me. A lot of niggas be doing that shit. And see, you're not for to scare me with no past story and all that. At the end of the day, you do gotta know when to retreat. At the end of the day, you gotta really know when somebody really affiliated. At the end of the day, you gotta know when somebody can really end your life. But I feel academics, man. It's like I'm a man, bro. And then academics I got bread. Nigga, see, money drive you crazy. Money will make you tough. You know, not necessarily tough, but it's like I can hire some hitters. I can hire a bodyguard. I can have some niggas that have my back. You know what I'm saying? And then he Jamaican. Jamaicans, they bloodline, they not no suckers. Jamaicans ain't no suckers, bro. Jamaicans is sturdy. They not no suckers. He got that in his bloodline too. And then on top of that, he could be ready to prove a point. Like, I'm tired of these niggas acting like, man, you academics, man. Will be a sucker, man. You better just stay out the way. Some niggas get fed up with all that. And they're like, okay, I'm for to rewrite my story starting right here with you. I'm going to rewrite this story of me supposed to bow down and be scared of everybody. I'm going to rewrite this story right here with this energy you bringing me. So, yeah, go on and bring it, man. You know, but anyway, it was a good interview. DJ Akademiks, he kind of a troll in a way. He kind of just keeps shit popping. He run his mouth. He an internet nigga. He's basically the epitome of an internet nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it, man. My overall thing that I took from it is you can't tell a man to back down from another man off of what could happen to him or what. If he ready to go out there head first and he could back up what he's saying, you never know. It's times where I done told nigga, man, be cool, dude. And then the nigga done end up, like I had one nigga that used to try to fight everybody and shit. And he tried to scare everybody. And this one nigga got tired of it and beat his ass at the court. We had to pull the nigga off the nigga. So all that shit don't necessarily mean nothing. So that's my take on it. Let a man be who he think he gonna be. If you could shut it up and stop him from being who he think he gonna be, then do that. But don't do it with talking. Don't do it with warning. You know, he might rise to the occasion and really defend himself. He might not be the sucker that you think he is. So yeah, that don't tell another man how to be a man. Don't do no shit like that. Just roll with it. I never told another man how to be. I ain't never warned no niggas. If you man enough to put it out there, act like you ready. Shit, if you dish it out, you could take it. If you about that life, or even if you about to rewrite your story and start being about that life, that's not up to me. That's not for me to tell you, man. I'm not the gatekeeper of niggas' manhood, man. I'm not. That's up to you, man. Feel me?